Hi, my name is Trevor Abbey, and this is my presentation on cyberbullying. And this is Ryan Halligan. He was born December 18th, 1989. He's 13 years old. He lives in Vermont with his father and mother, and he's a student at Hiawatha Elementary School. He loves music, and he loves his family. I said he's 13 years old, and the math might be a little flicky on that. That's because October 7th, 2003, he was found in his home, and he hung himself. His sister found him, and then later his father did. What happened was, from the beginning, at a young age, he was placed into special education programs because of his slow development in speech and motor skills. And what this did was kind of make him an easy target for bullying, and this happened for a very long time, physically, over the internet. It was relentless. And eventually what one girl decided to do was, because she knew that he had a crush on her, she convinced him to confide in her through instant messaging, and he was telling her these secrets about himself and his feelings that no one else knew. And eventually, when she felt she had enough information, she showed everyone else the messages, and she told everyone, and it was awful. And he went home, cried, and unfortunately hung himself. This is a quote by Charlie Chaplin. "My pain may be the reason for somebody's laugh, but my laugh must never be the reason for somebody's pain." I agree with this, and I think it's sort of ironic and true to his sort of comedy. My three main points are: what exactly is cyberbullying? What are some of the short and long-term effects of this on our youth and families? And what are some ways that we can stop this from happening in the future and to anybody else? So firstly, what is cyberbullying? By definition, it is the use of electronic communication to bully a person, typically by sending messages of an intimidating or threatening nature. And what this means, outside of this definition, is that you are using technology, email, phones, Facebook, whatever it is, to hurt somebody else. And you're trying to break them down and make them feel like they are worth less than they really are. And unfortunately, a lot of people believe this. These four people all have one thing in common: Jessica, Tyler, Jamie, and Megan. And that is that they were all killed by themselves within the last 10 years because of cyberbullying. And a few of these cases actually made the news, like ABC and Fox and CNN, just because of the circumstances. And it's really unfortunate, but there are a lot of teens nowadays that are becoming affected by this, and a lot of families. So some real-world statistics that you can apply to life are: the suicide is the third leading cause of death among the youth in the U.S. It's 4,400 deaths per year. This is a study done by the CDC. Another by Yale University is that bully victims are 2 to 9 times more likely to consider suicide. CDC also did another study to show that more than 14% of high school students have actually considered suicide, and around 7% of them have attempted it. Maybe not successfully, but that's 50% of people who consider it actually going through with it. And another by ABC is that 160,000 kids actually stay from home because they're afraid of getting bullied, physically and over the internet. The same happened with Ryan. So these are some preventatives you can take for your family, for your friends, to make sure that this doesn't happen. Firstly, be aware of what your child is doing online. If you feel that there's something going on they're not telling you, I would check their history, their Facebook activity, their email, their cell phone. They may think that this is a breach of their privacy, but if something really is wrong and they're not telling you, it's for the best. Secondly, establishing rules about technology use. Things like supervised internet use and password protection can be great. Making sure that they don't have a Facebook account, something like social media. And another is exhibit a mutual honesty with your child at a young age. I feel, while I'm still young, that if you exhibit honesty between them, and there's mutual honesty, and there's trust, they will be more likely to tell you if something is wrong. Maybe not 100%, but they will trust you to not get angry with them, or to not be upset with them because maybe they were a victim to something, to not judge them. This is something to think about. If you knew that you had a chance to protect your child and your family from something truly threatening, wouldn't you? Just something to think about that. Again, Ryan Halligan, I want you to think about him. I want you to think about what could have been in his life, what he could have done, what he never got a chance to do, his college that he'll never graduate from, never getting married, never having a child, the family that he will never get to protect himself and give the same advice to. And like I said, some of the short-term and long-term effects of this, these are it. It doesn't just affect the person who may have killed themselves or may not have. It's also the families that are getting damaged by this because they have to live on past their children. Again, my main points are what exactly is cyberbullying, what are some of the long and short-term effects, and what are some ways that we can prevent this from happening to anyone else. Basically, if I would ask you to do one thing, it would be to think about someone in your family, a nephew, a cousin, a friend, a brother, a sister, and to think about this happening to them. Because a lot of people say this would never happen to my child, this would never happen to anyone in my family, this would never happen to me, and it does. By the statistics, it happens often. And I would just like you to think about that, because that's something very real, and it doesn't just affect the person who may be growing up broken inside, but the family who has to continue to live on. This is my presentation. Thank you.